Hello, my name is TaNikka Sheppard, and this is your Wednesday Work. Question: have you ever had one of those days where it seems like every call, every text, every email, every news story or conversation is some sort of complaint, tragedy, criticism, or notification that something has gone wrong? And by the time you see that next text message coming into your phone, you just want to shout. And yet, the bad news just keeps coming. But guess what? There is also good news. We just need to look for it. And that's what I want to share today in this Wednesday Word. Three things. And the first thing is this: look for the good news. Look for it in the testimony of others, celebrate it in the accomplishments of our friends. We need to listen for it in the laughter of children, in the ideals of our youth, or even in the wisdom of our elders. And also, let's look for it in the smile of a stranger, or perhaps experience it in the beauty of God's creation. You guys, let's look for good news. You see, the good news isn't just outside of us. And that's the second thing. We need to let the good news come from within. For in Proverbs 18:21, it says, the tongue has the power of life and death. So you guys, sometimes we do need to shut our phones off, turn off the TV, disconnect from the outside just a little bit, and speak words of life, speak words of encouragement and love over ourselves and our family. The good news is within. I encourage you, if you don't already do this, to write down a few daily words of affirmation that are rooted in God's word and memorize them and say them daily to yourself. These are words that will speak life to you and remind you each and every day of God's love, God's will, and God's plan for your life. I'm telling you, that's a game changer. But let me tell you the third thing, because this is a life changer. Once we know God's word and once we have it, let's not keep it to ourselves. Here's the third thing. We need to share the good news. For the good news is the gospel of Jesus Christ. Romans 1:16 says, I am not ashamed of the gospel of Jesus Christ, for it is the power of God that brings salvation to everyone who believes. Y'all, we live in a world where hope is needed, where peace is needed, where God's love is needed, and we can share that love through the gospel of Jesus Christ. So I encourage us to share the good news. And let's make sure we share our testimony and what God is doing each and every day. Let's share the good news. Listen, I believe this with my whole heart. I believe you have good news. And I believe someone needs to hear it. God bless you. Speaking of good news, we are so excited about what God is doing here at the Fountain Church. On this past weekend, under the leadership of Pastor Reed, we were able to launch our spring children's ministry for kids in grade pre-K through fifth grade, and they will meet every Sunday in person at 9:45 a.m. And we also launched our Hydro Youth Ministry, which meets every second and fourth Sunday at 9:45 a.m. Here is the great news. The great news is the harvest is plentiful. And we have a need for more workers. So if you have a heart and a call and a passion to serve with young people as a mentor, leader, or a friend, or to serve and support the ministry in any way, we encourage you and ask you to please check out the links below. And also, check out the rest of this week's newsletter so that you can see the many other ways that we are growing and serving others. This is your Wednesday Word. I'm TaNikka Sheppard. Have a wonderful and marvelous week. God bless.